What I'm trying to do here is figure out my layout for the internal components. I got the power supply here. This is the 4 relay board that we're using. This is the 5-volt regulated power supply that I built. This is a project board that I put the voltage divider on and a few other things. And then I have my Arduino Mega with the Ethernet board on it. You notice this has got a power over Ethernet module on it. I don't have any of the just plain ones right now, so I'm going to try to get that. But they're essentially the same thing except for that board right there. As far as standoffs on these, I bought these metal standoffs here from Mouser that I'm going to use on those. One of the things I don't like about these project boards I got from Mouser is there's no drilled out holes for mounting it, so I'm going to have to drill some holes and mount those. The only problem with that is I might need to go to some nylon standoffs for those. I kind of have the same problem on the Arduino board. I've only got 3 of them mounted here because on this side there's very little room to put the nut on them. And then on this one down here, it's so close to the soldering on the back of it, it'd probably short it out, and I'm a little worried about that. So I've got 3 set up here. I may go ahead and just switch over to nylon mounting standoffs. One of the things I'm going to do here is I ordered some of these jumper wires pre-crimped. I hate crimping those, so I ordered some pre-crimped ones from Pololu, I believe is how you pronounce it, P-O-L-O-L-U. Or use just these, or cut these off and slide those on for that, which of course mount up in the front panel. The other thing that I have is for holding this into place on our 3D printer. I printed off these brackets, or mount those to the side and mount them to the case. I also ordered a set of brass standoffs, so I've used those. I use those to go ahead and mount the LCD in the front panel. So the only thing I have to figure out is how I want to mount these. I'd like to have some kind of slide-on connector on that, but I haven't decided how to do that on the momentary switches up front here. So I don't know if I'm going to just go ahead and solder the wires, cut the ends off of one of the 12-inch wires I got from the Pololu, and then use those in there. But I've got an assortment of different ends, so I've got 3, 4s, 5, 6. I've got a 16 one that will actually go across into the LCD. Goal is to be able to change things and be able to disconnect fairly easy if I need to take components out. I'm using this to check for to measure the current on the off the incoming current, to check to see how much current's drawing. It just clamps around one of the wires, and then on the other end of it I've got this. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go ahead and get a jack for that and then wire it in, or if I just cut it off and wire it directly in. But I still have to do that. I think there's a little bit of circuitry I'm going to have to do to drop it down to the 5 volts for the Arduino to be able to measure. I have the markings for the cutouts for the USB port on the Arduino and the networking port on the network card cut out, or shield cut out, or drawn out. Next I'll go ahead and try to use a cutoff wheel with the Dremel tool and see if we can cut those out. We have the holes cut for the USB port and the Ethernet port. Next we'll go ahead and take the tape out and see what kind of damage we did. Okay, not too bad. So I probably want to put a little paint on that to cover up the bright part. See how our let's see how our module fits in there. Looks like it fits in there pretty good. So I'll go ahead and start mounting the components in the inside of the case now. I've decided this is how my layout's going to be. On the power supply, I've got my 3D printed mounting brackets there. Relay board will go ahead and go probably there. I might switch it over here. And then obviously the Arduino board with the card there, and then I'll go ahead and put the 5-volt power supply here. And so next I'll go ahead and drill holes in the bottom of the case to hold these in. I'm not quite ready obviously to mount this, so I'll go ahead and use a smaller breadboard until I get the voltage divider circuit completely figured out, and then there will be a little bit of a circuit for the current reading equipment. Main thing I need to be concerned about when I'm mounting to the bottom of this chassis is I need to make sure that my screw heads or nuts or whatever don't extend past this lip here. Otherwise, when I go to try to slide the chassis into whatever mounting rack mount that I put it in, it'll catch on that. So I'm going to try to use these panhead screws and put them up from the bottom and then apply the nut from the top. Here we have the components, internal components mounted. Obviously that's the Arduino with the Ethernet board on it. I went ahead and pre-drilled the project board for that I'm going to do the voltage divider and some other stuff on. Here's the 5-volt power supply, the 4-port relay board, and obviously the power supply. I ended up using these screws on the bottom, kind of countersunk them so they set up close to the case. I did go ahead and put some standoffs on these brackets for the power supply, so that there's a little air gap underneath the power supply in the case. Thought I could run wires under there also, maybe a little bit of air could get through there. And so that's it for now. The next episode we'll go ahead and start wiring things up. So for now, this is KB0ASQ signing off.